Welcome to the creative universe of Ghillian, the mastermind behind Illucid Studios, where imagination meets reality in a symphony of art and craftsmanship. Ghillian's passion for storytelling is in the heartbeat of every project, transforming Illucid Studios into a sanctuary for innovation and expression. Ghillian is sculpting a new dimension where dreams are not just seen, but felt in real life. Join us as we go inside the visionary world of Ghillian and the magic of Illucid Studios. What's happening, my bro?
Oh, good,
you good?
Bro.
For sure,
Nice
man.
to see you, bro.
Good to connect, bro. So
Yeah.
I think like a really dope place to start is if let's say we are listening to your audiobook or we're watching your documentary of Ghillian, and you know, where does this and Illucid Studios and whatever else you end up doing in your career, where does the story begin, would you say?
In the beginning of everything.
Beginning of everything. Let's take it back to, it can be your childhood, it can be the earliest moment of getting in touch with something that sparks that creativity, but take me back to growing up, and let's start from right in the beginning.
Okay. Well, growing up, I grew up in a very small town. So
Yeah.
I feel like creatively, that always was kind of limiting to me.
Where'd you grow up?
In Plenbrook Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, so very small. I feel like
Yeah.
there was no one else that was doing anything creatively that side.
Yeah.
In grade 10, I had a friend that moved down from Joburg, Luke, and you know Luke.
Yeah, of course. Basie.
Yeah, Luke Vasey.
Oh, Luke is from Joburg. I didn't know that.
Yeah, originally from Joburg.
You see, Luke is bringing the juice from Joburg. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout
But he
out
moved
Luke
down to
Vasey.
George,
Yeah.
and then we went to high school together. And then he came down shooting film, and I think that like sparked me to start taking photography seriously. And I'd always been drawing as well. I think that I've been drawing since I can remember. But then started taking more seriously, like going to matric. And also I grew up traveling the world as well. So I think that was where I drew most of my inspiration that allowed me to get a lot of my creativity from that rather than, South Africa, the side here.
Let's break that down, bro. So when you're drawing, are you just like drawing anime you like? Are you drawing like things that what are you drawing most of the time?
I was anything that was inspiring me. Growing up, probably started drawing a lot of DBZ.
Always, bro.
Always.
I was also used to do the same, bro.
Yeah. And then, literally anything I got inspiration from. I like comics a lot, so I used to do a lot of comic style, a lot of like tattoo style, very clean lines. And then I think now that I've been experimenting for a while now, I've been definitely trying all different mediums.
Crazy.
And going through with that.
So then you go from drawing to, when you say traveling the world, was your family traveling a lot, or how did that work? And tell me a little about your parents as well.
Yeah, so they both jewelers. My dad's a silversmith.
Wow.
So they travel the world too. They have a shop in Plett, and the shop's like the section of his personal jewelry work, and the rest of it's from all over the world. So I used to grow up like traveling around with them, like sourcing out jewelry.
Crazy,
and then they always used to take me to galleries and museums and things. I think that was where I got a big inspiration from, especially like in Mexico. Been to India also. I think that also had quite a big influence, especially on them. So I think seeing how much they enjoyed that. And I have family in Europe as well. So obviously Europe has a bit more, also quite a diverse, curation of work that's there.
Yes. Okay, incredible, bro. So you go from then, and at what point do you go from drawing, and then what's like your earliest memory of actually creating jewelry? Like,
so funny enough, when I grew up, I feel like because I was around it so much, I didn't really appreciate it as much. Like I always loved jewelry, but
it's always the case.
It's always the case. Like I feel like I didn't take enough advantage of it when I was around, because I used to, like, I didn't go to daycare, so I would spend like all the afternoons just like at the shop, because both my parents were working the whole time, so I was always just there. And I think that started I started growing a love for it, and then now that I have everything else, I just felt like a right transition into it, and just like another medium I can express myself in.
Well, I just think it's dope because like you also can't take for granted how much you've been around it, that how naturally it will come to you now, you know? So even though you're not taking advantage and you're not there, because like as a kid, I mean, let's be honest, when your parents are doing that stuff, you're like, let me find something cooler than this.
Literally,
you know? I think back to like my dad having a thrift store at some point, and I never took advantage of that. I was just like, this is so whack. I want new clothes, you know?
Exactly.
But meanwhile, now I look back, I'm like, yo, that was one of the dopest things. I used to stand outside his store and shout for customers to come in and buy at the thrift store. So just stand there and say, hey, cheapile, come through. Comes a little white kid out there in the middle of freaking Florida somewhere, and then like sending people there. So like, I get it, bro, you know, but then you can't deny down the line what sort of effect that has, you know, which is super, super dope. So then, bro, small town, and when do you sort of, so you're telling me Luke came down, you saw this movie, the project he was working on that just sparked this creativity on you. What comes next thereafter?
I actually got into films in the beginning. That was like I was kind of said I was actually considering becoming like a filmmaker full time. And I kind of took a break from that because I directed away from it, but now I'm transitioning back into that, which is dope, like more on a directing standpoint.
Incredible, bro. And you have such a keen eye for it. You know, when I look at some of the most recent stuff you've done and the way you're able to collaborate with other directors, and you know, the way you understand that language, I think is mad important. At what point, bro, do you jump into like the graphic design and the design element of what you're doing?
I mean, I started probably in like high school matric. I started learning, like teaching myself all the Adobe software.
Got you.
And just experimenting because I wanted to like do more with the designs, like take them from paper to like, you know, once you take them, you know, online, you pretty much have limitless possibilities with them.
Yeah.
So I think that was the next step. And also it was like I want to learn how to like put my designs onto clothing, because I feel like, you know, on paper, like you can showcase it in a gallery or something like that, but on clothing, people can wear them wherever, and you make like the street into that, you make it into a 100%. Gallery.
So where does your like love for fashion stem from? Like at what point do you just like, because you're mad stylish, and like the projects you've been doing, and like how Illucid Studios is now formed into arguably one of the hottest streetwear brands coming out of SA right now, you know, like especially if you're here in Cape Town, you'd 100% feel it, like it's happening. You've got a movement, you've got some crazy people behind it, and it feels like everybody's moving together, you know. Where does that stem from? Where does the fashion side, is that something you've always just experimented with? Or
I mean, that's largely I think I drew a lot of inspiration from hip-hop growing up, for sure. And
like what hip-hop, what did you listen to?
I mean, back then it was like growing up, like I didn't also have as much, let's say, influence from around me, as I was saying, from the small town. So it was like a lot of 90s. I mean, I was listening to like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, like Wu-Tang, all of that kind of style, Biggie, Nas, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, it was that, got a lot more like baggy 90s. And then obviously like early 2010s had like a whole nother style to it. But I think like I always liked fashion, but I never thought about it too much. Even when I started the brand, funny enough, like I didn't start it to become like a fashion like proper brand. Like I made it just to as like something to portray my designs onto. So like it was definitely like the t-shirts was like the main thing in the beginning. It was just like another medium for me to put it. And then I think as I go through it, I build like a deeper love for it, and like also just like, you know, the possibilities of when you're able to create and like now do everything custom CMT. So I have like limitless possibilities on like how I can create the product from start to finish. So I feel like that's just like another thing that I fell in love with. And also like moving to Cape Town.
You can tell because like it seems like you're putting a lot of attention to not just the design work on the actual product. You're putting a lot of effort into the product itself, and it's coming through, man. So tell me. And so when do you move to Cape Town?
I moved to Cape Town 2019.
Okay.
So it's been like 5 years now, almost.
Okay. How old are you, by the way?
26. I just turned 26 like
crazy.
A week ago.
Crazy. Happy birthday for
Thank
a week
you.
ago.
Thank you.
Just a week ago. Okay, bro. That's dope, man. Okay, so you moved down to Cape Town, and then how do you do this transition? Like, how do you now make it work? Are you selling t-shirts? Are you like, what is your first step? You moved to what is considered a bigger city from where you came from, you know, from Plet, and like, how are you now maneuvering? Did your family also move down? Did you move down by yourself?
Solo.
Solo.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your first steps? I mean, was that transition scary, or was that something that was just like you just knew you had to do?
I mean, I was excited for it. I had been on a 2-year gap year before that, traveling. So I feel like the next necessary step was like I was kind of in a place of like, I don't know if I should study or not. And then I kind of thought that let me use studying as like a way to at least get in the zone of like creating consecutively. Because after traveling, like I wasn't really, you know, I didn't have a consistent schedule or anything. So I felt like just the nature that I am, like I need something that's like consistent in my life to be able to, you know, continue it. So when I came down, I hadn't started anything yet. I'd just been doing like the designs and things like by myself, like keeping it for myself. And then in second year was when I like actually started to, or in the first year actually, I dropped like the first collection of teas.
Okay, so you came back to Cape Town and you started studying.
I started studying at INSIDÄ.
Okay.
Yeah, but the first year was like, I didn't really, when I moved down, like I literally didn't know anyone. I probably knew like 4 or 5 people that lived in Cape Town.
Is it like modules that you pick, or how does it work? Or is it like a subject you have? What exactly did you sort of?
Well, the first year is like a general design degree. So you cover like everything from, you do some environmental, like more interior design, photography, fine arts. And then from second year, everyone branches out into their like respective mediums.
Okay. And so what did you focus on?
Graphic design.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Got you.
But they kind of fucked me a bit though. Because
why?
I tried to go into illustration and then they sold me on like, this is like you can like diverge within graphic design into illustration, but then it was just like a full corporate graphic design degree pretty much.
Ah, shit. Yeah.
Which is like it's cool though. Like at the end of the day, you know, I designed all my like my websites, everything that's part of Illucid that's design wise is me. So everything, like it's still like I took the good part from it. Yeah, exactly. I took it to like be able to just you know, brand myself and like never be limited to like if I want to do something I can just do it. So that was kind of what I took it for, instead of like going to something specific. Like I was considering doing photography or film, or even like fine art, but then I felt like all those things I could very much like teach myself, even though you could do graphic design as well. But I felt like that one I could, you know, benefit the most from, and just of like marketing stuff, especially in like this day, you know.
And when you look back now, was it really beneficial taking that route, or would you say you could have taught yourself all of that as well?
You definitely can teach yourself. Like as I said, I started teaching myself before I even went there. So I feel like it was also easy for me. I went like uni, I cruised through that because it just made sense. And because I'd been doing it, like I never had to spend too much time. Like a lot of stuff they were teaching us, I already had learned it myself. So that's why I had to allow me to start the brand and everything. Like, so I was managing that. And I feel like the brand low-key took more time than my uni during those years.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot to balance though, because I don't think when I started, as I said, like I didn't, you know, realize the full potential, like how deep I wanted to go with it. So I didn't realize how much work it will take, you know, because the first one was just like a test. Like I just put out I threw out a range of teas. Like I didn't know I was going to do a second collection even. Like it was just like, you know, that might be it. But then the feedback was like so good that I was like, okay, let me do another one, and then another one. And then like it just builds from there.
Kept going from there. Okay, that's incredible, bro. And at this point, are you like, is there money coming in? Is it like from selling these collections? Is there like a little bit of cash coming in that's helping you roll over and invest into the next project?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you had to, like, that was like, I put all the money like upfront myself to invest into everything. That's also been like a gradual process, because it's like each collection you put, you can like, it allowed me to grow the next collection. Yeah. So, you know, I just like invested all the money that I got in. Like, I don't think I took any money out the brand for like the first, 2-3 years, just so I could build up enough to like actually create like good, proper pieces.
Incredible.
Yeah. And now we're at a place where we can, you know, have more freedom with what we want to do, which is amazing.
Yeah. And so why Illucid? Like, where did you come up with the name? How did that come to you? How did that happen?
So in high school, I had like the idea, well, it was actually a friend of mine. We started planning it together. He was like, you should, you know, make clothing with your design. So he was going to handle like the business aspect of things. And then during that, we come up with a name. And funny enough, the initial name was Lucid Dreams, like before it transitioned to Lucid.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. We'll go back and forth. Yeah, which is crazy. But anyways, and then through there, I kind of was like, Lucid Dreams already has quite it has a connotation towards it. So I was like, let me come up with a name that's like has my own meaning, but it's like a variation of that. So that's when Illucid came into play. Because like, I don't know if you know lucid dreaming, but lucid dreaming is basically when you're able to control your dreams, while you're sleeping. So then my take from that on Illucid was like being able to control your dreams in reality.
Yes.
So that was the goal of that. So it's like whatever you want to achieve in life, you go ahead and you go do that. So that was where it stemmed from initially.
Oh, come on with the spiritual astral travel. I see you, dog. Okay, beautiful, bro. And then so let's talk about, I mean, this part's going to come out in the next couple of weeks still, but, it's a relevant topic for now, but, I don't know how relevant it will be in a couple of weeks, but I think let's talk about it anyway, like, obviously I saw the whole Mr. Price, Lucid Dreams, and like, design wise, very, very similar to what you're doing, Tell me about that, bro. What was that process? How did you see it? How did it make you feel? Like, where are you at with it right now? Maybe we can just break down, like.
Yeah, I mean, it shocked me, to be honest. Like, I don't know. It was quite crazy. I got sent it by a DM actually.
Yeah.
And at first I was like the more I looked into it, I was like, nah, the more crazy this is. Because I was like, okay, it is like, it's just a logo font. And then I was like, nah, like there's so much more extra detail to it. So obviously in the beginning, it hit a bit, but then, you know what, at the end of the day, I mean, they butchered the quality on that piece.
Well, I think it's also flattering, right, bro?
That's what I'm taking from in the end, because it's like, at the end of the day, they can't replicate what I'm busy doing,
100%.
Especially for the culture. I got hit up yesterday saying that it's also in, was it Zimbabwe now as well, bro? So that means that they have in like stores all over the
they have stores all over the continent, bro. Mr. Price is all over,
Yeah,
but
literally.
like, look, I think it's this, right? I think your stock went up the moment everybody saw it. It was like, oh shit, okay, Ghillian's on the path that like is being watched, And if it's not, because we also got to be open to that. Like, I know we're sitting there going like, this is a carbon copy. But I feel like we should also just be open to the idea that, we are, as humans, as designers, as creators, there's also a level of consciousness and creativity that we're all tapping into, that sometimes works can be somewhat similar. I'll tell you the truth. Like me in my production phase, when I was like waking up every day and making beats every single day of my life, like, bro, there were songs I would have made that 2 years later, another producer makes somewhere else in the world that I'm like, that sounded like something I had made. Like I feel like it's somehow connected. And when you're in that stream, that it's possible, I think, but what that shows is that you are ahead of the curve. You are ahead design wise, and whether it's a carbon copy or not, like, bro, I think your community felt it, bro. Everyone's like, guys, we see what's happening. And these brands, here's the problem, they're synonymous for doing these things, But I also think it's good to always open that dialogue. I really love how you handled it. Like, I've seen so many people fumble the bag when this happens, and they just like lose their shit, and they're like fighting, and they think they're gonna get lawyers and whatever. Like, just the way you handled everything, bro, was so tasteful. And then like 24 hours later, you're in that t-shirt. That killed me, bro. That killed me, bro. I love that. Shout out to any of your homie that bought it for you, because that was just like, because I hit you up, I was like, bro, please incorporate this however you can.
I had something planned, but
that's amazing, bro. And that's the way to handle it. And I think you did it so gracefully,
Yeah, I think that was the better way to do it, just because, like, to be honest, like, I already got so much new stuff planned. Like, that was a collection that I had already done last year, and although it was a really dope collection, I'm already moving to the next thing, and it's like, I don't want to be stuck in a place where I feel like that just will take too much time on me and stress that like I don't really need. I'd rather just focus on a new thing and like rather put it into like a better light in the situation. And I mean, hopefully this stuff doesn't happen again, but at the same time, I feel like it's inevitable in this kind of space. Like everyone, I feel like draws inspiration from, as you 100%. Said, like could be subconsciously. It just makes it a bit funny that like they are based in South Africa and like there was too many details to 100%. But it's it is what it is at the end of the day.
100%, bro. And look, I think, like I said, your stock went up, your community was behind you, everybody was making an uproar, and it was really fun to watch, bro. It was like a cool moment to see.
I feel like that's the beauty of like when every these things kind of happen, because like at the same time, like last year, I had like that incident of my stock getting stolen.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's been a couple, pretty major incidents in the brand's like history already till now. But I feel like every time something happened, like the community has really shown. Like I feel like that's when you really, how deep your community actually stems. And I feel like that's what I take from it every time. Like it's just like the love is real in the city and around the country even. Because like people are over like around Africa, and they're busy still sending me the photos like from other countries. So
amazing, bro.
Yeah, like it's dope to see, bro.
And that's, like you said, that's the real showcase of your community. That's like where it shows like you can't replicate that, bro.
Exactly.
You can't buy that.
You can't
recreate that.
No big label can ever do that.
100%.
And that's like the beauty also I love about like being a bit of a smaller creative brand. It's just like you also have the opportunity to influence. So like I can release something tomorrow if I want to. Whereas these big places, like I feel like that's why you can always stay ahead of the curve, is because you can drop something whenever you want to. Where these big labels, like they're going to drop per season, and they doing everything so many months in advance.
Yeah. Plus
Europe is like we're on a different kind of winter summer schedule as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where I like the space that we're in right now, where you're pretty much like you can always be ahead of the curve if you're like conceptually there.
Yes. Yes, I love that, bro. And you also do like art, bro. Like let's chat about that. I got one of your pieces, man, that I saw. I was just like, yo, I have to have that. It's gonna be worth like 25 mil in the next 5 years. So please don't try at me to try get it. It's not available, baby. It's an exclusive. You can probably see it there right in the back.
Yeah, in the back corner.
So shout out to you, bro. You like, and especially that piece, like you said, you did it with like pen.
Yeah, that's a fine liner.
It's crazy, bro. I find myself and my girlfriend will like just go up to it sometimes and we just stare into it.
And that's a special piece, because that's a piece that like also inspired my first tattoo as well. I got that piece on me.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, so
crazy.
It's a beautiful piece. But yeah, I've been doing like, as I said, I've been like drawing and doing art since ever I can remember.
Yeah,
that was definitely the first thing I did. And it's been nice being able to take that to a further place now that I'm back in Cape Town.
Yes.
So right now I'm showcasing at Rare Gallery.
Amazing, bro.
Which is dope. And just like push that, hopefully have a solo show in like the near future or next year or two. I'm not like putting too much pressure on myself with that, just because of everything else that I'm doing. But I feel like whenever I have the chance and like time, like I feel like that's always where I kind of enjoy to lose myself in.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll do a little collab together, bro. Maybe I'll curate the event and then you put the showcase together,
Most
do
definitely.
something crazy. But I love that, bro. And I love how you have just found a way to live in so many different creative pockets. It's like you really are a multimedia artist, if I can call you that. I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Because you're able to express yourself with so many different mediums, and you do it so fluently, bro. You're jumping between obviously the jewelry thing, you're jumping with the design, the graphic design, the illustration work, like your animation stuff. Like I just can't think of anything you can't do, and that's really dope. And that's a big reason of this show. I wanted to get this pod up, but I didn't want to just focus on people who are just like huge and blowing up. I really want to touch in on the people who are right now breaking the mold and are in that space that like, I'm mad excited to see what you're going to do in 5 years, to see what you've already achieved in this like little while of being in the city, and you're still so young. And I hope this pod makes it onto your actual documentary when they're speaking to you. That we can shoot back to this. Bro, so tell me about, so the last collection was that fucking 95? Was that range, or was that, because like I love that video that you guys did so much. I think you did it with Twanfisser, right?
Yeah, and John from LA.
Yeah. Epic. Tell me about that. So that was the second collection, eh?
What second collection?
Oh, like tell me what that was, because it just feels like, tell me about that. What was that? I mean, was that part of the collection rollout, or was that
part of the collection rollout.
Okay.
Funny enough, like I had a similar video, or actually it was a different video. Like I feel like that video we did ended up being a bit of like a documentary / narrative piece, which is why I really loved it so much. I was going to focus more on a narrative for it and shoot with. I was actually planning to shoot with Luke originally.
Okay.
And then John had flown down from LA to shoot Daisies, and because that got postponed to a future date, him and Torn, and as Torn was creative directing, you know, Daisy's after movie, they had like an open window, and they approached me with the concept of shooting this campaign, and then from there we worked together into creating. But in that whole thing, it was crazy how it happened, because I think they called me on a Sunday evening, and we started shooting on Tuesday, a 3-day shoot. We shot probably like 18-hour shoot days for 3 days straight. Got everything crazy, on the Monday. We organized everything, and I mean, we had like the whole list. Like everyone was involved, from like Key to Internet Girl to Cash to like, you know, it was a beautiful thing. Like, and I feel like that's also when community just comes together, because it's like, you know, you have these people you can call upon to like just be part of it, just because they genuinely just believe in you. You know, like
amazing.
It's nothing more than just love. So that was really dope, and also having like a piece of that could like show a bit more into the creative process of like what goes into creating collection.
Yeah,
I think it was also
I
beautiful.
love that. Like, it did feel like, you know, you got to see the space, you got to see a glimpse into your community, you got to see like the homies coming together. And geez, what a incredible video, man. I showed it to my girlfriend. I was like, yo, check this out. This is crazy, you know? And it felt like that. It feels so much more than just a collection. It feels like a movement, bro. And I love that. That always comes out in your work. So, bro, what does your day look like? Like when you wake up, like what does a week in your life look like at the moment? Like, is it like, take us through like how you divide your time between your different mediums, and like how you are able to balance them. And
okay, well, I mean, like I feel like to start this off, I'll say like the collection is like fuck it 9 to 5. Like I feel like people don't really realize what I actually meant with that, because it's like it's like fucking 9 to 5, but at the end of the day, I'm like working 24/7 most of the time. Like that's crazy. Like I'll be working till like 2-3 a.m. every day. So I mean, my days, they vary so much, because honestly it depends on what I'm doing. Like, you know, some I could just be doing like shoots midweek or like the weekend, and that'll obviously change everything. But for the most of the part, like I have like a kind of a 9 to 5, which is just me handling all manufacturing business. Like when any company or thing I had to deal with that like has a general 9 to 5, like I have to be there operating during their time, and then after 5 is when I can actually like sit down and start doing all the designs and all that kind of work that builds things further. And I mean, there's no like, I don't have too much structure on it, to be honest. Like I try to wake up early, you know, sort out admin in the beginning, and then from there, like each day will be different, and I just take it kind of like, you know, I plan it in advance, but then like also, you know, just down in business every day. That's the goal.
It's similar to what I do, bro. Like I get that. So it's like just handle the paperwork in the beginning of the day, and then depending on which project is sort of closer to D-Day, those get a little bit more priority, and you just manage it between that. I got you. And do you have times where you like, because I feel this, bro, I have times where I'm like I'm also obviously like super new to the editing Adobe world. I'm trying to learn that as well, you know, and I'm learning to shoot. That's something I've always wanted to do, so I'm in that process. But I do find myself, bro, like some weeks I get up and I'm like, oh man, I haven't touched Cubase or Ableton in months now. I'm like, oh, and I jump back in, and it's like certain things I'm like, oh man, how did I do that again? You know, like it is muscle memory, and like some stuff you remember because you've done for years, but other things I step into, I'm like, oh, I haven't given this enough time. Or, you know, I've been like learning to do some like 3D stuff on Blender as well. And then you learn how to make a 3D logo, and you do your thing. You're like, this is so dope. It's so rewarding. And then like, bro, I jump back in a month or two later. I'm like, how the fuck did I do any of that?
I get you. I was also been starting to learn Blender as well. So I definitely feel that. And I mean, I feel like in a similar space with like Premiere Pro at the moment, because like all the basic, you know, edits and everything like that, like I can handle 100%, but it's kind of when you go into like the more technical like transition and everything like that stuff that I have to like, every time I have to like go rewatch tutorials and everything to like learn it again. But I mean, you also have like different weeks. Like there'll be like, you know, when you're busy with the collection, I'll be like a heavily design like influence kind of period of time, and then from there you kind of go into manufacturing, which is like a whole different thing, and then from 100%. There you're going into like rollout, which is a whole nother ball game. So I feel like that's why things always just change so much, because there's different kind of steps to it, and because I'm handling pretty much everything myself, like I'm, you know, take priority on like those certain kind of things that I have to at that time.
So, but talk to me about manufacturing. I think that's a great point. How are you manufacturing your stuff at the moment? I know you said you're seeing the whole process through. Take me through that. Like, what does that look like?
I mean, literally from like A to B, like I'll go out I have different places that I go source out material. I'll go pick out whatever material I feel like will suit the garment the best. Sometimes I'll go there with like material in mind. Other times I go there and see what material is available, and then I make garments according to like what the material might inspire me to create.
Got you.
And from there, you know, I take it in, I get it washed. Like I have like really nice washes at so different pieces. Like with I got these new like jorts coming out that are super crazy, but they got like a butter wash, so that should feel like it's been lived in already for like 10 years when you put it on.
I love that, bro. Sick.
Yeah, and then from there you take it, I get patterns made, go through sampling, adjust samples if I need to adjust anything, and then once I'm happy with that, I'll put it into production.
Got you.
So, and then your production also has different steps depending if I'm like having, you know, I then I still go to printing or embroidery or, you know, everything else, packaging. So it's a long process actually that people don't really like see the full gist of. Because it's like, if you're just taking blanks, it's super easy because all you're doing is just printing or adding your final detail. But when you go from like the get-go, it takes a while. But also you know, become comfortable with it. And also like once you have like a lot of your base patterns down, it becomes a lot easier because then you kind of can just go straight into manufacturing unless you're dealing with like new silhouettes, which I also like experimenting. So I always got some new stuff on the way. Got you,
bro. And all of that's done in Cape Town?
All locally, all materials manufactured also within either Cape Town or around South Africa. So yeah, bro, everything is like 100% local, which has always been like a big focus of the brand. From the beginning, like I always wanted to, you know, I feel like build it up authentically from within. Like you can easily go to China or something like that, but I feel like I like to be there during like every step of the way, and I feel like when I'm not there, like something always just goes wrong, so I want to be able to 100%. Control everything the whole time.
Well, that speaks volumes in your work, you know. That's why it's coming out the way it is. I mean, just your tea, you know, just the tea I've got is like, bro, the quality is phenomenal. Like, I mean, I love these gloves. I know they're for spray painting, but I love them because these are the only gloves, bro, that can open your iPhone while you're wearing your gloves and you can text, bro. It's crazy. I don't know if that was part of the plan, but
they've taken on a life of their own at this point. So it's been really dope. Like I mean, obviously artists, I feel like they really took a big liking to them just for like either if they're DJing or playing shows because it adds like a nice, you know, extra touch to the fit.
It does.
But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of homies that even when they're shooting on the job, they be using with their gear, going out fishing, like crazy, I mean, obviously graph, like that's the initial intent, but so yeah, it's been dope to see like everything that they got up to.
Incredible, bro. Like, and who are some of the creatives in similar medium? So let's maybe start with the clothing side of things that you are liking the work at the moment out of South Africa.
I mean, in Cape Town or around country?
Let's start with Cape Town and we can go around as well. Or just the ones that come to mind, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I would say like you have to undeniably say like Broke is doing a lot for the community. They got a massive influence. I always like Leaf as well, was what Salik's doing. I feel like his attention to detail has always been, you know, immaculate. And then the boys from the gallery, like Callan, has been doing a lot, experimenting a lot, which I always liked about his work. And yeah, other than that, I mean, nationwide, like I like Tebe's work a lot. I feel like he's pushing, like, just in terms of visual direction and also garments. I mean, he's also done crazy collaborations. Like he's done, I'm pretty sure he did Dior. Even all the soccer kids, like, you know, he does. But yeah, he's been really powerful. And yeah, I think those are like the main ones. There's obviously so many that are really pushing things at the moment, but I feel like, you know, there's like a handful that are taking it to next level.
100%. How did you meet the guys from Internet Go?
You know, funny enough, James hit me up. We started speaking, and he wanted me to custom his guitar. It's like this beautiful like cherry red, his like main guitar, like crazy piece. And you know, he wanted me to do my characters like on his guitar, and then we met up at YT. Funny enough, And then all the boys came through as well. So we ended up just getting along. I don't even think we chatted anything about the guitar. And the end of the day, we just got on. Actually got kicked out of YT that night. So it was a it was a good night. I feel like we bonded really well over that evening. And then they used to stay in like a Sonneblom, which was like pretty close to, like I always drove past it on the way back from manufacturing stuff. So I literally would be there like at their place, multiple times a week, just chilling, like hitting it out. And then from there we've done like quite a few projects together. They're really dope. They also like take their music really seriously, and like their whole creative direction, vision. It's just beautiful, bro. So I feel like that's just it's been a really good friendship we had there.
Incredible. I think you guys, like, I mean, yourself, Born in Blue, Internet Girl, Hugo, like there's a whole bunch of you like that are just, it's feeling like you guys are onto something mad important.
And underrated, all them underrated. I feel like in the next, we'll see 5 years time, everyone's going to be crazy. Like 100%. I feel like they all ahead of the wave that's like way ahead of it. Like they're international already. So
100%.
And they're going on tour this year as well. They're going to America. Which is beautiful.
And it's just a matter of time. So many people don't know, like guys like A Boy Named Blue. Like,
I know.
I've been on how many calls with RCA to freaking Interscope, bro. These guys, relatively to a global superstar, have very small numbers. These guys are talking to some of the biggest labels globally, and like
that's the thing. People don't even know
what's happening in the background. These guys are turning down, bro, millions of rands already.
It's crazy,
in offers.
No, they really don't even know the scope.
But it's incredible, bro. I think they've all onto something. They know they're playing. It's crazy to see that they are, like, obviously with Amapiano and like what's happening from the African scene, how important that is right now for our continent. It's really still dope to see like other people doing other things and other creative pockets and still chipping away on their thing. And I love it, bro. It's like, it just shows like that, man, South Africa's on. Like
South Africa's on, especially now.
Like, whew,
like the last 5 years, I feel like we definitely put South Africa on the map, like
it's
creatively.
Crazy, bro.
So I feel like that's why in the following 5 years, I'm super excited to see where it's going. I feel like a lot of people want to go overseas and take things because I feel like everything is green on that side. But I don't know. I feel like my thing is like right now, as you were saying earlier, like we at like this like foundational phase right now. So I feel like if you come up with it now, you'll be like pioneering, the jump into when South Africa actually becomes like really like, 100%. Globally acclaimed. I mean, Tyler got a Grammy,
but like I'm also not to downplay any of that, and it's such a beautiful thing, such an incredible thing, like, but this is something I've been preaching for a long time, because I got to go experience some of those things in America with some of the biggest artists and people, and I got to see that life, that world, and that life that those people live. And I looked at everybody and I was like, the only difference is the distribution is better than ours.
The distribution.
I was there and I was like, so-and-so's manager doesn't touch this guy's manager in South Africa. Like, this creative guy, when I see them work in studio, are not more creative and better artistically than these guys. It's just the distribution and the channels that they've created is so crisp, and it's, a good couple of years in. That's the only difference, bro. And since I came back from that trip, I was like, bro, we must stop this overhyping things that are from anywhere else in the world other than here. And I love that you touched on that, because I genuinely believe, like, once that distribution phase is gone, which is happening with the internet, that's been happening over the last couple of years. Doesn't matter where you're from. You can be popping right now from South Africa. It's just like you still almost need that global distribution, because let's be honest, whatever's hot in America is hot globally.
Exactly.
Whatever's hot in the UK is usually hot in the UK, and the top 3 get distributed globally.
Facts,
whatever's the hottest in Australia, the top 3 get distributed globally because they do a distribution deal with America. Once that stops, bro, and it's naturally happening. We're seeing it, like major record labels around the world have been mandated to sign Latin and African artists. That is their key focus, away from what
Latin's just blown up
crazy, bro, because they're doing their thing, and it's like,
and a lot of people that speak Spanish and everything around the world is insane. So it's like, why would you focus on English being your main language? Like 100%. There's so much, like, if you look at, like, I mean, let's say like Bad Bunny or something, like, for example, like their numbers is insane, bro. And there's like so many of them that are also just doing like, it's like, and it's because the music's like low-key, like, Spanish
And you could also argue like French to an extent. I feel like that's much more on the low-key spectrum, but like the sound is nice to listen to. So even if you don't understand it, it still sounds really good. So I feel like that's what draws it to
I
there.
saw that like 2018, bro, when I went to Coachella. I think it was 2018, 2019, and I saw when the Latin artists came on.
Yeah. Go crazy.
The crowds, even us, bro, just caught us. Next thing because it's close to the rhythm of like, it's got something, bro. It's like,
I feel like
we relate, bro. Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
We relate. Like,
100%.
So it's a beautiful thing, man. And, and it's just like, it's epic that from South Africa, it's just so many different cultures, so many different avenues, so many different, like, bro, when I look at our stage designers, our creatives across the board, bro, they are absolutely nuts.
We just need more funding like in the country to take everything, and also just like access, because I feel like that's the biggest thing. Even with the clothing design, like we're so limited on materials, like accessories, just like production times. Like in America, you have such a high competition because there's so much available that you can get anything you need almost at a faster time or better price or higher quality, just like this. But here's like, if you find one that actually, you can even just find one that does the things you need. So then it's like they have a monopoly. So like they'll fuck you over and like make you wait weeks for something just because you can't even go anywhere else. Like you don't have another option.
Yeah, but this is what I can say about it, bro. If you're going to sit back and you're going to hope that government supplies that for you, it's not going to happen.
No, it definitely won't.
What I can tell you, bro, is like in South Africa, let's remember one thing. We have the biggest youth population of the continent as a whole. You have access to, like, look what you're doing. You're building a community. You're building people around what you're doing that are believing in what you're doing. And that's really, at the end of the day, if people have the vision to put their minds into creating that sort of world of, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's design work, whether it's factories, whether it's, and I'm with you, bro, like funding, mad important. And at the end of the day, remember that global distribution is changing massively, And at the end of the day, if something is really hot, bro, the whole world is going to want to buy in and buy it. Doesn't matter where it's from, bro.
Exactly.
Like when it's hot and people want it. And you're going to be able to, in South Africa, if you have an item that's popping from South Africa and getting distributed to the rest of the world, oh man,
then
you will set up a crazy factory here and you'll be able to create crazy opportunities for young people and pay them well and build with them and build the factories. And we have that possibility of going as big and as crazy as we want. We don't have a lot of red tape as well to do those sort of things.
Yeah, because it hasn't really been done too much before. So bro. You can only get the red tape like once 100%. People have like messed up and like creates the red tape. And but that's exactly what it is. Like it's not like, I don't think the government funding will ever come there. So that, but the thing is like, the more people that start making it will create a demand for better quality, and there'll be more like businesses and factories that will open up to supply these people that are 100%. Doing it, just because they'll need it. So it'll be and there's a lot of brands even locally, like let's say like Stibiel and Evenflow, like they have their own brand, but then they also start manufacturing for like other people as well, which is I feel like that's what you need, because it's like people that generally care about the quality more than like, a random manufacturer. Like they, putting the same quality that's into their brand, for other people. So I feel like that's, the start on like a lower scale, but like that can just increase over time when
100%. And it's crazy to me. I'm like, geez, if I was the government, I'd put all my money on Amapiano right now. In
100%.
terms of like
Amapiano is up right now.
Export, import, like push them, focus. Like, bro, I don't think they take it seriously. They don't even understand what's happening.
No, it's
no cooking clue, bro. But like, just shout out to everybody doing their thing and not depending on anyone. Shout out to the whole Amapiano scene, actually, the way they are looking out for everybody. Shout out to Maporisa, shout out to Kabza, shout out to everybody else. There's so many players. Shout out to the management, like Tuli and like everybody else in the space, Foka, and like just the way they are, bro, like the level of management.
That was crazy.
In
they
South
actually
Africa
have it too.
has gone to a level, dog, that I'm telling you now. That's why when people are throwing American names at me, I'm like, bruh, it's just global distribution, please. It's just
100%.
a matter of time till our artist names are like, and I see them beyond the Grammys, beyond Oscars, beyond American awards shows, bro. It's like those things are, for me, I'm like, yo, we beyond all of that. Like right now, we are the pocket, and we need to protect that IP, and we need to make sure we keep pushing, keep growing keep building that community and supporting one another into what is coming, which is the next 5 to 10 years, which I think is going to be crazy. Speaking of 5 to 10 years, bro, what does your next 5 to 10 years look like?
I don't want to say too much about it, but you know, I've always had like a lot of vision and goal for the future, but I also feel like as I got older, I kind of started to more allow like the process to take itself, because I feel like when I was younger, I always wanted to like, you know, blow up when I was super young and like to, you know, do all that rock star lifestyle. But now that you get older, like I want to, you know, get to that point where I feel like I'm comfortable to sustain that point, because I'm also I'm in this for the long run, you know, like I'm not trying to, you know, come up overnight and go back this next day. So
I love that.
Yeah, I'm growing it slowly. I definitely want to do some pop-ups in Europe. I feel like that will be one of the next big steps. Just stocking more stores, but like I've been really selective now of where I'm stocking. So I'm stocking at Lemkus and PPC. Take it to Josie, and start doing, you know, go international big spots. And also even, you know, I've been wanting to get into an event space as well. Just to grow that community, you know, like it doesn't have to be 100% focused about Illucid, but we can like, you know, be like the curators of it, but then, you know, put then like on local talent. Like I feel like hip hop is really underlooked in the country, especially Cape Town. I feel like Joburg is more up on that, but in Cape Town, like there's not really no way for people to go to. So just do something that side.
I love that. So the eventing space, and then like from a clothing perspective, do you see yourself opening some stores down the line?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always been a dream. Like, you know, having a spot, because then you have the creative freedom to do anything you want. And I feel like that will be the time when you can really showcase your brand as a whole and, you know, create a world for that. So at the moment I've been doing a lot of pop-ups, and I feel like that has that starting place where you can, you know, get a feel for the creation of a space. But, you know, definitely within that time period, a clothing store will be there. And even if it's not just a particularly clothing store, like, you know, I might be doing more things like with the jewelry and like delve into other things. So I would say more as like a showcase. What I would like a what's it called, like a showroom, if you had to put it that way. You know, have like all of like the really nice pieces will be out there, and you can have like online for everything else.
Got you.
But
and you also, like you said, you're directing a lot right now. Is that something, bro? Can people reach you to like get jewelry made, to get clothing or graphic design work? Like, where are you at the moment with taking on new work, or like how are you structured at the moment?
Yeah, most definitely. I've been doing I take on custom jewelry designs, more like bigger pieces that are, you know, like with the time, but like most definitely take that. And then also for directing as well. I feel like this year I told myself I'm gonna be more selective on the work that I do. So like the ones that I do, I want to make them count. But people can definitely approach me, you know, hit me up with your idea, and then we can take it from there.
Got you.
But yeah, I really want to create like pieces and bodies of work that really, like, you know, put myself further in the right direction. If I was going to, you know, take as much time as it does to go through there. But I've been doing also like, I mean, I did a logo design for you as well before, but we
shout out, bro.
But yeah, definitely still work with that as well.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. The directing, the clothing, and where can people check everything out, bro? Is it all on one page? Are you on separate pages with some of the stuff, or?
I mean, you can get anything that has to do with like the jewelry, Illucid. That's all illucid.co.za. You know, Instagram, Illucid Studios, and then obviously my personal is like where I'll be more showcasing my art from there. Ghilian.pdf. So yeah, I mean, those pretty much are the only two places. I'm busy working on like a personal portfolio website at the moment.
Dope.
Yeah, just gonna get Ghillian. I got Ghillian.com as a domain, which I was actually super gassed about.
Lovely.
Firstname.com is something you don't, get so much in this day and age. So yeah.
Did you have to go through a third party, what or not?
Yeah, it actually, I messed up with that domain before because I had it, but I never dropped the website, and then something happened. My domain like expired, and then
someone else,
the third party stole it back. Like, and then it was like, you have to pay like this brokerage fee to like get it back. And for like a whole year, I couldn't get it because like the brokerage fee was like, I don't know, it was like a couple grand, and that was not even like to get the name. That was just to like brokerage the transition to get it. So I was like, I'm not even going to try.
You want to try, yeah.
And then like the one day I was on a
70K on top of that.
Yeah, I was like working something on I had a phone call with like the party because with an Illucid issue, and then I like asked him about it, and I realized that it became like available again, and I just took it at the same time.
Yeah. So I'll
pay the thing for life.
Yeah, 100%. My bro, thank you so much. Always a pleasure, bro. Yeah. Like I said, bro, I'm mad excited for what's coming for you, bro. Like I think it's you're mad important voice here in Cape Town. You know, I think everything you're doing from the creative standpoint and pushing that sort of level of creativity in everything you do, bro. I'm mad excited to what you do, what you're gonna do, and I can see it, bro. I can see you designing the toys. I can see you dropping short films. I can see you putting out a series. I can see it all, bro. Like, I think you've got insane taste, bro. And you're building a dope community, and you got some really, really good people around you, bro. So I'm mad excited. Ghillian, it's a pleasure, bro.
I appreciate all the kind words.
What's up, bro? Take it easy, my bro. We'll do this again, bro, in a couple
of... definitely. Couple
of years, bro. When you got something dope coming, please pull in, bro. We'll chat about it.
It'll be good to look back on in the future.
100%, bro. What's up, bro? What's up, bro?